Hello, everyone. This is Heather Hurt with the NRW, where nerds rule the world. And I'm going to give KAYFABEYBABY some of the biggest shit on the planet for what making me watch this movie, Flow, which you just saw the trailer for. It is a beautiful film, kind of apocalyptic, but also very family. Hi, KAYFABEYBABY. How are you today?
I'm well. I'm so excited you finally saw this, and we're broken like I was made to be broken, because we are animal lovers, and all the puppers, all the kitties, just such a beautiful film. I cannot believe when I recently, I'm sorry, I'm going to go off on a little tangent real quick. Me and some other fellow critics, because you can't always make it to the theater like me and some of these other guys, and luckily for them, it's like right next to them, and I'm the asshole that has to drive an hour and a half. You probably would be 3 hours to get there. But we cannot believe in that this year we got The Wild Robot and Flow, that to me are probably the two best animated films in over a decade. I would put it up there. Or at least for me, and for them as well, the both of them. Shout out to my boy Anthony Francis with Film Threat, Screen Comment, and the movie review, and John Jones with the Peach review. We were just blown away by both of these films. And also we got Inside Out 2 this year, which taps into literally every emotion and was such a great film. But for me personally, Flow and Inside of the Wild Robot, much like The Substance and Sing Sing, my top two films of the year, followed by actually my top four, to be honest, are Flow and Wild Robot. Just amazing pieces of film. But to me, Flow gets the edge over a lot of the other films out there. And I'm sorry, we're supposed to be going into other stuff. I was going to toss it to
it's okay.
But they do so much without talking, and that's what makes this film so beautiful. And animals being naturally animals, and you almost feel like they rotoscoped and filmed a bunch of animals and then animated over that, because the animation and just everything they do is just so what I know of with my pupper and when I used to own cats. And I'm sure Heather could probably say the same with her cats. But I'll stop right there because I'm already getting into review type territory. But it's a very simple plot and not many casts to talk about, because I think if this was in Disney hands, and I'm sure we'll get into this in our review, Heather, if this was in Disney hands, they would have gave voices to these animals. But I'm so freaking happy they didn't, because it would have taken away from the beauty of what this film portrays through the situations and just the big eyes and just the way animals talk without actually being able to talk to us. Such a beautiful film. But I'll shut up. Heather.
Yes, this film is not anthropomorphized like most of the Disney stuff. So there's, so this is a very quiet film. It's a very personal film. Yes, we will get into it. What's really unfortunate for this film is that it is an international film, which means it will be recognized by BAFTA, but it will not be recognized by the American Academy of Motion Pictures, because we are self-centered and cannot look outside of our own borders. Yes, I'm staring at you, Academy. There's also other reasons I'm staring at you, the Academy Awards. Anyway, Flow. Let's get into it. This movie is a Latvian film with that also has roots in France and Belgium, I believe. And it is a quiet film. It is a personal film. It is a found family film about a world after humans, and it doesn't seem like it's much after humans. We will be going into spoilers in this. in this, because honestly, there's the entire film is very hard to describe without going into spoilers. But the movie has also been out for a while. It's been out for a while. It is available right now on digital. Please go check it out. I'm sorry, it is available right meow on digital. Go check it out. Um, I'm sorry. If you know your movie references, you'll catch it. Um, this is Kat. I thought it was I thought it was a boy. I guess she's a girl. I don't know. Gender is fluid and everything, so we won't assume. But this is Kat. It follows the Kat's experiences shortly after humans are all gone. One of the most touching and heartbreaking moments for me is her climbing into the bed of her human, sniffing it, and
You're crying from the jump off.
I'm going to say that this movie affects me differently than it affected Kuya P, because I have a little black cat.
I was wrecked too, girl. This movie will wreck you.
This movie will wreck you. The thing is that the way Kuya P sold this movie is that this is so heartwarming and everything's so great. And don't worry, you'll be crying, but in happy ways. Instead, I'm sitting there hyperventilating because a cat almost dies like 3 times, and it's heartbreaking. And everything about like the first half of the film, it's devastating, especially if you are a cat owner. I don't want to say that pet owners aren't excluded, because there's some really great moments, I think, for dogs that we'll talk about here in a little bit, that really exemplifies the differences between some animals. There's some great moments about birds and some great moments about marmosets. I think they're marmosets. Is that a marmoset? I can't remember what those types of monkeys are called. But anyway, getting back to the plot, she goes up and lays in her human's bed. That's how recent this is. And then she's out in the woods. She's living her life. And then all of a sudden, a huge wash of water comes over the land. She is able to survive this huge freak wave that's coming into a forest, like a very green forest. And she makes it up. She gets helped out by a dog, the little golden retriever or yellow lab. I'm sorry, that's a yellow lab. Is she more yellow lab? I think she's more yellow lab than retriever. Yeah. And she finds a way to survive. Yeah, she's a lab. Okay. She finds a way to survive, and the next day, what she knows, she goes to sleep. The next day, she notices that the water is still coming. It's still rising. It's still going. And then before you know it, the entire world, her home, is completely underwater, which is honestly one of my biggest fears. I can watch humans get killed constantly. I don't care. Horror movies or something that's kind of gone away. That sounded terrible. I can watch in film humans getting tortured and killed, but I cannot watch animals getting killed. Check out our Nosferatu review. We can't talk about it yet, but there will be comments, I'm going to say. Anyway, I can't do it. So watching and considering that these animals are dying, that animals are just dying, was just ripping my heart out. And watching this cat try to climb higher and higher and higher until this capybara comes around on a boat and saves her. From there, they make this small found family, including a dog, a monkey, a capybara, and a bird. I don't remember what type of bird that is. It's a beautiful bird. And they experience what it's like with each of their own families, other than the capybara. We don't see what happened with the capybara's family. How other animals treat each other. This is a very animalistic film, a very baseline film. There's no element of human activity at all. And that ends up, one of the final moments is the world is then cleansed. The world washes away, all the water washes away, and they are returned home to their forest and their lives. So that is Flow, with a lot of side tangents along the way. You have heard Kuya P's initial thoughts. You've now heard my initial thoughts, in which I blame him for my devastation in life entirely.
But it's just so beautiful. It is beautiful. It will wreck you. Yes, and I apologize. I'm apologizing to Heather right now, but I needed to wreck her like I was wrecked. Because it's such a beautiful film. It deserves all the love. More people need to see it. And I'm afraid that people won't see it because it's not Disney, Pixar, Warner Brothers, DreamWorks, all of that. It's a Latvian film. It's a foreign film. and
Mhm.
it's here, and it's so amazing.
And
Um,
it's and what's even more important, I also feel like it's not necessarily a kids film. Adult animation is something that a lot of people still like. They still harp on it. Adults still harp on other adults for watching cartoons. Watch whatever the fuck you want as long as you're not being a creep about it.
yeah,
Like enjoy it. Um, this is one of those movies that yes, other than there are definite moments throughout the movie, including like one of the last minutes of the film, where your heart is just going to skip and race because you are so nervous about the livelihoods of these animals. But it is a quiet film. It is a peaceful film. It is a gorgeous film. The art is amazing, and it is a story about family, and it's a story about how. One of the most important parts of this to me is it's a story about animals being family, and
yeah.
how some can do others harm. uh, One of the big ones to me
There's
about
so
this, and
many
I
lessons in this.
so
Yes.
many lessons. And one of the big ones is you can let your family go. You can let it doesn't matter if you are blood or not. You can let your family go. I don't want to be rude to the dogs because dogs are dogs. They're going to be dogs. I love dogs. Don't get me wrong. I'm actually pupper sitting right now. So if you hear a growl or bark in the background, it's because I'm pupper sitting.
Yeah.
Um, and it's there's they all the family has been together for a little while. We can't really tell how long this has been. It doesn't seem like it's too long that the world is underwater, but at the same time, time time is a square and a circle and a straight line all at once. It's completely fictional, so we don't know how long it's actually been. But they come upon the Yellow Labs family of dogs, and they are welcomed onto the boat as part of the group, and
Oh,
they are the
that
worst. They are the
moment.
absolute worst. Um, but at the same time, it leads to the bird having an absolute, probably one of the prettiest moments, one of the most beautiful moments in this. Her having her time, and then of course me having another moment where I'm watching the cat and I want to cry over and over and over again. She this little black cat. Black cats, by the way, are not unlucky. Get rid of that concept. Get rid of that statement.
Oh,
Black
completely.
cats are actually known for luck, and she is incredibly lucky throughout this film, really very lucky throughout this film. Um,
Mm.
and but it shows that there's also danger in the real world, and you don't have to stay with your family. There are times right now, and I think it's very poignant right now.
Yes.
You do
Woo.
not need to keep your
Yeah.
family, your dangerous family, your hateful family, your bigoted family. They do not need to remain as part of your life. Be with people that give you love, that bring you kindness, and that bring you support. And I think that's one of the most important messages of this film. Um, Found family is just as important as real family, if not more so at times. So yeah, there's my take. I will never forgive Kuya P ever again. Uh,
I'm already
but
feeling
but
like
I know
crying
we
right now, Heather, because you just made me remember all the situations. Just
the
through again,
whale.
in Disney's hands, they would have made these characters talk, and it would have been so unnecessary. The fact that there's no communication, that it's all through situations and animal expressions in very natural ways. You know, if especially if you've owned pets, you know how they would act, and you can see it, and it played so well, and they just had to place it in the right situations, and just it spoke volumes. It spoke loudly. And like Heather said, when the other dogs come on, I was like, oh my God, I'm just heartbroken, and just how just this film will fucking wreck you. My apologies, I shouldn't have cursed right now. But it is a family, I think it's such a family film. There's gonna be a situation that you'll have to explain, but it's a beautiful film and just says so much. Says so much. So I'm sorry. I could ramble about this film, but
No,
to me, we got this film and Wild Robot is the back to that two, I think, amazing films that just really tug at your heart and just so real, and where and the are a reflection of the world and what we can do and do better. That man, just bravo. Virtual flowers.
yes, this
Yeah.
is a beautiful film. I looked at another part of this is about environmentalism, as is Wild Robot. Um,
Yes.
we will close out on a couple of things in which I've never stood on a soapbox on this channel ever, not once.
Never.
And please, please, please remember to take your pets. They are part of your family with you. If you're in a major storm situation. We know it's expensive. We know it's difficult, but you are their life. You are their soul. You are their heart. Leaving animals behind, especially when you tie them up. Whoever tied up that poor dog in the field right before Helene, there is a special place in hell for you. There is a special place in hell for you. But take your pets. They deserve you. They deserve your love. They deserve your passion because you are everything to them. Please take them with you. Please protect them. Please love them. They are your family. And the other thing is do better for your do better to the environment. Make sure you're not wasting too much water. Make sure you are supporting initiatives to protect the planet, to protect trees, because you never know what's right around the corner. Global warming doesn't mean the planet is necessarily just getting hotter. It means that there are catastrophes on the way that we cannot even fathom. So I know that's not necessarily the message of this movie, but that's what I'm taking away from it. Do better. Let's do better together. Let's love our animals and let's love our planet to the best of our abilities. Flow is available right now on digital. Please check it out. If you think that you think we rambled too much about this movie, if we didn't talk you into watching it at this point, I don't know what's going to happen.
Get used to it.
Like, subscribe, share. Give us your opinions of this film if you've seen it. If you think that the American Academy of Motion Pictures should start letting in international films to actually compete, say below. That's below. Thank you guys, and we will talk to y'all soon.
Just want to give a shout out to my literal dogs, Alfred Winston Strange and Lily Bell Strange. Love you, dogs. She's right behind me. She's sleeping.